In the early 1980s, President and Sister Mary Louise Sullivan began the construction of 7 houses on Residential Boulevard on Cabrini's campus. Known as McGuire, Dixon, Infante, McManus, Casey, Lanchey, and Sullivan House, these residence halls have been the home to many students.
I lived in a double with my roommate's name was Mark. We got along pretty well. And I met a lot of my close friends now in-house too. But we had a lot of fun and it was great. But it was just older and, like the cabinets in the kitchen were like weird. So we'd always order out because we were all so close, no one really cared too much. Well, I did get to see them and I was upset that I was not able to live in-house too when it was renovated like that, because now it's just, very nice. They have like that stone that's going up and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But it's, it was great seeing the renovation. I'm glad that students from here on out are able to experience something as nice as it is now.
Currently we live in house 7. When I was a sophomore, I lived in house 2. It was one of the most enjoyable situations I've ever been a part of. I got to live with 2 of my best friends. We shared a bathroom with 2 of our other very close friends, and it was just a very ideal situation. Well, my freshman year, I lived in Woodcrest, and I just felt there was a lot of people in there, whereas in House 7, all my close friends almost live in House 7. We spend a lot of time together, even though sometimes we can get on each other's nerves. We're almost like a family to an extent. It's great.
And I lived in House 5. I lived there for the summer when I worked in admissions, giving tours. Because I worked here, I was allowed to live in House 5. And it was like having a beach house away from the beach. I lived there with my best friend Chris. He worked here in the Iderola Center doing research, along with 10 or 11 other guys. Really good experience. I went back alumni weekend last year, and nothing changed. Pretty much the same place.
I transferred in here in the House 5 my junior year, and that was 1999. So I transferred there, and then my senior year, 2000, when I graduated, was House 7. House 7 was the first year that they actually renovated everything. I mean, I had a great experience there. I liked the fact there was about 25 people to the house. Guys were upstairs, girls were downstairs. Everybody got along well. Everyone felt safe with all the people that lived there. No one, and you had all different walks of life, meaning that you had athletes, you had people in student government, you had people in the theater, you had people that weren't in any of those, and who might have just worked. You might hear the phrase that people live in, within their own silos, and it wasn't like that. Everybody got along very well.
I lived in House 5 in 2010, and I lived with my 2 best friends, and they're still my very good friends. And we decided to live there because House 5 sort of gave us like the feeling like we had a little bit more responsibility, like there was a kitchen and we could all live in the same, we could all be in the same room. And then our other 2 best friends got in the room right next to us, so the 5 of us had like our own little wing of the house, which was fun. One of my favorite memories is all our guy friends lived in House 6, which is obviously right next door. And we would, when it was nice out or even when it was snowing, we would just all go outside and just have like cookouts in the front, or we would sled like down the front hill and stuff like that. So it was always fun.
Over the years, the houses have provided a home away from home to so many Cabrini students and will continue to do so for years to come.